As we come to the end of Deep Work by Cal Newport, it's not just the conclusion of a book. It's a call to transform the way we live and work. Newport doesn't merely describe deep work as a productivity technique. He presents it as a lifestyle choice, a commitment to excellence in a time when mediocrity has become the norm. In today's digital world where our attention is fragmented and our minds are constantly pulled in 1,000 directions, Newport challenges us to resist this tide. He reminds us that the ability to focus deeply on meaningful tasks is not just rare, it's valuable, powerful, and essential for creating a truly impactful life. Through his carefully constructed arguments, real-life examples, and practical frameworks, Newport opens our eyes to a truth we've almost forgotten, that our greatest ideas, our best work, and our deepest sense of purpose emerge not from chaos or constant connectivity, but from quiet, deliberate, and undistracted effort. He teaches us that deep work is how masterpieces are written, innovations are created, and careers are built, not in the scattered noise of shallow distractions, but in the clarity of single-minded focus. This book doesn't promise success overnight. Instead, it lays out a road that demands discipline, boundaries, and thoughtful reflection. But for those willing to walk that road, the rewards are immense. More than just productivity gains, they include creative breakthroughs, career growth, intellectual satisfaction, and a deeper sense of control over one's time and life. Deep work is the antidote to digital overload. It's how we reclaim our minds, our energy, and our identity from a culture that often encourages busyness over brilliance. And Newport's message is timeless. In a world where everyone is distracted, the ability to focus will set you apart. At Audiobook World, our mission is to bring such transformative ideas to life through sound. We don't just summarize books, we breathe life into them. Each word you've heard is carefully crafted to resonate, each idea chosen to help you grow. We believe that audiobooks are more than just stories or lessons. They are companions in your journey of self-improvement. Whether you're commuting, working out, relaxing, or simply seeking to learn, Audiobook World is here to turn every moment into an opportunity for growth. If deep work has sparked a new way of thinking in you, if it has inspired you to step away from distractions and move toward mastery, then we're honored to have been a part of that change. But this is only the beginning. There are countless other powerful books waiting to awaken new perspectives, and we're excited to bring them to you. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. This is Audiobook World, where ideas speak louder and your journey never stops. Chapter 5. The Philosophy of Deep Work. In this chapter, Cal Newport deepens the understanding of deep work by exploring the philosophy and mindset necessary to achieve it. He stresses that deep work isn't just about practical techniques or habits, but it's also about how we view and prioritize work in our lives. Newport presents the deep work hypothesis, which posits that the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks is becoming rare and more valuable in today's economy. He believes that those who can develop the ability to do deep work will achieve exceptional results. This is not just about working hard, it's about working smart, prioritizing activities that require intense focus, and avoiding shallow, non-productive tasks. Newport draws a stark contrast between deep work and shallow work. Shallow work, like responding to emails, attending meetings, and checking social media, is easy to do but doesn't contribute significantly to meaningful results. It often gives people a false sense of productivity because they are busy, but they aren't truly moving forward with their most important tasks. On the other hand, deep work is focused, intentional, and productive work that challenges your cognitive abilities. Newport argues that deep work is critical because it leads to the creation of high-quality, high-value work, while shallow work only consumes time and energy without contributing to meaningful outcomes. Newport also highlights the need to shift our mindset to what he calls the craftsman mindset. The craftsman mindset is about focusing on becoming excellent at what you do and working hard to develop expertise. Instead of searching for a job that you feel passionate about, Newport suggests that you first focus on mastering a skill, and the passion for your work will follow. This contrasts with the passion mindset, where people are constantly seeking the perfect job that aligns with their passion. Newport argues that this mindset leads to dissatisfaction because it emphasizes external factors like job titles and personal satisfaction, rather than focusing on the internal satisfaction that comes from mastering a craft. The craftsman mindset, according to Newport, helps you improve and succeed in the long term, regardless of the external circumstances or job environment. Newport also emphasizes that deep work is a mindset, not just a tool for productivity. It's about making intentional decisions about how you spend your time and choosing what is worth focusing on. He suggests that to succeed in deep work, you must reject distractions, avoid multitasking, and develop the ability to concentrate for long periods on the tasks that truly matter. Newport offers concrete advice on how to cultivate this mindset. First, he urges readers to embrace boredom, a concept that seems paradoxical in today's world of constant digital distractions. Instead of constantly seeking entertainment or distraction, Newport advocates for periods of mental rest where you allow yourself to be bored and let your thoughts wander. This exercise in self-discipline strengthens your ability to focus during deep work. He also recommends ruthlessly scheduling deep work into your life, treating it with the same level of importance as meetings or deadlines. He stresses that if you don't schedule deep work, it's easy to let shallow tasks fill up your day. Newport acknowledges that cultivating deep work isn't easy. In a world filled with notifications, digital distractions, and an emphasis on multitasking, staying focused on deep work can be incredibly challenging. However, he insists that the rewards are worth the effort. By focusing on what truly matters, you can achieve exceptional results in less time, and most importantly, you can gain a sense of fulfillment and purpose from the work you produce. In conclusion, Newport argues that deep work is essential for anyone looking to succeed in the modern economy. Chapter 4. The Deep Work Rules. This chapter marks a turning point in the book where Cal Newport shifts from the philosophical foundation of deep work to practical application. Having made the case that deep work is incredibly valuable, increasingly rare, and deeply meaningful, he now lays out a framework of 4 actionable rules that can help anyone cultivate the ability to perform deep work consistently, even in a world that seems designed to destroy focus. The first rule is work deeply. Newport begins by acknowledging a hard truth. The ability to focus intensely doesn't come naturally. It must be trained, and this training requires a deep respect for discipline and structure. He explains that willpower is finite. You can't rely on sheer determination to stay focused day after day in a world full of digital temptations and workplace interruptions. So instead of depending on willpower, Newport suggests building systems and rituals that make deep work automatic. He introduces several methods to help with this. One is the monastic approach, which involves cutting yourself off almost entirely from distractions and devoting nearly all your time to deep work. This approach is rare and extreme, often used by authors or academics who live in isolation for long periods. Another is the bimodal approach, where you divide your time into large blocks, maybe a few days a week or entire seasons, for deep work, while remaining engaged with the world during the rest of the time. The rhythmic approach is perhaps the most accessible, where you schedule the same block of time each day, say 2 hours in the morning, for deep work, making it a consistent habit. Lastly, there's the journalistic approach, where you fit deep work in whenever you can, even in unpredictable schedules. Newport warns that this approach is the hardest and best suited for those already experienced with focus. He also emphasizes the importance of rituals and routines. The more structured your deep work habit is, the more likely you are to succeed. He suggests choosing a specific time, location, and duration for your deep work sessions, deciding how you'll work, with or without internet, and setting clear goals for each session. Even details like what you'll drink or how you'll warm up your mind matter, because they help create a consistent mental cue that signals it's time to go deep. The second rule is embrace boredom. In today's digital world, people reach for their phones the moment they feel bored, even if it's just for a few seconds in line at the grocery store. Newport argues that this constant stimulation damages our ability to concentrate. If your brain is trained to switch attention whenever it feels a moment of discomfort, you'll never build the mental muscle required for deep work. Instead, Newport recommends training yourself to be okay with boredom. Let your mind wander. Resist the urge to check your phone or open a new browser tab. He also introduces the practice of productive meditation, where you go for a walk or do something physical and let your mind focus on a specific professional problem. Every time your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This strengthens your ability to control your attention, an essential skill for deep work. The third rule is quit social media. Newport challenges the idea that being active on every platform is necessary for success. He introduces the craftsman's approach to tool selection, which means evaluating each tool not by what benefit it offers, but whether it brings substantial positive value to your professional and personal life. If it doesn't, let it go. He asks readers to do a 30-day social media fast, not to prove anything, but to observe how their time, focus, and mood change. Most people, he says, will realize they don't miss much at all. Newport acknowledges that not all social media is bad, but mindless, habitual use is dangerous. You must control your tools, not the other way around. Chapter 3. Deep work is meaningful. In this chapter, Cal Newport shifts the focus from the practical value of deep work to its deeper emotional and psychological importance. Beyond productivity and success, he argues that deep work brings a sense of fulfillment, purpose, and satisfaction that shallow work can never provide. When you fully engage in something challenging and intellectually demanding, you experience what psychologists call a state of flow, a condition where your mind is entirely focused, your sense of time disappears, and you feel completely immersed in the task. Newport believes that this state is not just enjoyable, but essential for a meaningful life. He refers to the work of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the psychologist who introduced the concept of flow, and explains that people are often happiest when they are absorbed in a difficult, focused task. Even though it may be mentally tiring, the sense of accomplishment and inner peace that comes from deep work is unlike anything that comes from passive leisure or superficial activity. Newport also explores how deep work connects with craftsmanship, the idea of putting care, precision, and pride into what you create. Whether it's writing, coding, teaching, designing, or any other skill-based profession, deep work allows you to honor your craft and express your full potential. In contrast, shallow work feels empty. It often involves jumping from task to task, seeking quick wins, and constantly reacting to external demands without ever producing anything truly valuable. Newport argues that many modern workers feel stressed and unsatisfied not because they're working too much, but because they're not working meaningfully. They're stuck in cycles of distraction, pulled by notifications, and overwhelmed by the pressure to always be available. Yet they rarely get to experience the joy of total focus. He also touches on how deep work provides a sense of self-worth. In a world that's often chaotic and unpredictable, immersing yourself in something that matters gives you control, direction, and identity. You're no longer just reacting to the world. You're shaping it. You're creating something real. Newport brings in examples of people who find meaning in their work by committing to depth, even in fields where it's not expected. He describes a blacksmith who takes pride in shaping metal with precision, a programmer who loses herself in the elegance of code, and a writer who disappears for hours into the structure of her narrative. These individuals don't just work, they practice, they focus, and through that focus, they find meaning. Newport ends the chapter by warning that shallow work is not just unproductive, it's spiritually draining. A life filled with constant distraction and shallow engagement leaves you feeling empty, anxious, and disconnected. But when you learn to go deep, to focus fully, and to create with intention, you tap into something timeless and fulfilling. You align your work with your values, your talent with your attention, and your energy with your purpose. In a distracted world, choosing deep work isn't just a strategy for success, it's a path to a more meaningful life. Chapter 2. Deep work is rare. In this chapter, Cal Newport explains that while deep work is incredibly valuable, it is also becoming increasingly rare in the modern workplace. Our culture is slowly but steadily drifting away from focused, meaningful work and moving toward what Newport calls shallow work, tasks that are non-cognitively demanding, easily replicable, and often performed while distracted. These might include answering emails, attending meetings, posting on social media, or doing administrative work. Although these tasks may seem urgent or necessary, they rarely lead to meaningful progress or innovation. Newport highlights a troubling truth. Many organizations and professionals today have built their workflow, communication, and culture around shallow work. Open office spaces, constant digital communication, and the expectation of immediate responsiveness have created an environment where focus is almost impossible. Employees are praised for being quick to reply, always available, and constantly busy, but not necessarily for doing work that is valuable or original. One of the biggest enemies of deep work, Newport argues, is the culture of connectivity. In many companies, there is a belief that being always accessible, attending every meeting, and staying active online is a sign of productivity. But in reality, this constant switching between tasks fragments attention and reduces the brain's ability to concentrate deeply. This shift has trained people to tolerate and even expect distraction. Over time, this erodes the capacity to enter the deep, focused states necessary for mastering skills or producing high-quality results. Newport also discusses how the lack of clear metrics contributes to this problem. In knowledge work, it's often difficult to measure output or effectiveness. So many people and organizations default to measuring busyness or activity instead. If someone appears busy, sending emails, joining meetings, or staying late, they're assumed to be productive. But Newport warns that this is a dangerous illusion. True productivity comes from intense, focused effort, not from constant activity. He gives the example of companies that value the visible presence of work over its actual impact. For instance, a worker who takes time away from email and meetings to concentrate on an important project might appear less productive than someone who is always online. Yet the first person is likely producing far more value. Newport also points out the role of social media in encouraging shallow work habits. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram reward frequent posting, quick interactions, and attention-seeking behavior. They may offer the illusion of professional engagement, but they often pull time and mental energy away from deep, meaningful work. Newport isn't against technology itself. He's against the mindless use of it. He challenges readers to think critically about how their tools are affecting their focus and their output. By the end of this chapter, Newport makes it clear that the modern professional world is not naturally built for depth. Instead, it rewards shallow behavior and penalizes those who try to step away from the noise. But this rarity is exactly what makes deep work so powerful. If most people are operating at a shallow level, then those who can cultivate depth will stand out dramatically. In short, deep work is rare, but that rarity makes it an extraordinary advantage for anyone willing to resist the tide of distraction and commit to focused, meaningful effort. Chapter 1. Deep work is valuable. The first chapter of Deep Work opens with a clear and urgent message. Our world is changing rapidly, and the ability to focus deeply on important tasks is becoming not just useful, but absolutely essential. Cal Newport introduces the idea that we are living in a new kind of economy, one driven by technology, automation, and information. In this landscape, the traditional ways of working, shallow tasks, multitasking, and constant connectivity, are no longer enough to succeed. Instead, what truly matters now is the ability to do deep work. Deep work is defined as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. Newport explains that deep work is the kind of effort that allows a person to master complicated information and produce better results in less time. It is the foundation for learning new skills quickly and performing at a high level in almost any field. To emphasize just how valuable deep work is, Newport gives real-world examples of successful people who rely on it. He talks about Carl Jung, the renowned psychiatrist who built a tower in the woods to escape the noise of daily life and think deeply. He also discusses Nate Silver, the data analyst known for his accurate political predictions, who thrives by creating an environment that allows for deep thinking. These examples are not just anecdotes. They show that people who are able to disconnect from distractions and focus deeply are the ones who make meaningful contributions. Newport explains that there are two main abilities that help someone thrive in today's competitive world. The first is the ability to master hard things quickly, and the second is the ability to produce at an elite level in terms of both quality and speed. Both of these abilities depend on deep work. Whether you're learning a new programming language, writing a novel, or building a business strategy, it's deep, focused effort that leads to real growth and results. But there's a problem. Even though deep work is incredibly valuable, it is becoming increasingly rare. Our culture has moved toward shallow work, checking emails, responding to messages, attending endless meetings, and staying connected to social media. These tasks may feel productive in the moment, but they rarely create lasting value. In fact, they train our brains to be easily distracted, making it even harder to focus when we actually need to. Newport warns that the modern workplace often rewards busyness over effectiveness. Many people and organizations mistake motion for progress. Employees who are always online, quick to respond, and constantly active seem productive. But this kind of work rarely leads to innovation or true excellence. Deep work, on the other hand, is quiet, often invisible, and usually done alone. But it is this kind of effort that leads to breakthroughs, mastery, and long-term success. In this chapter, Newport also emphasizes that deep work is a skill, not a habit. It is something that must be trained and developed. Just like physical strength or musical ability, it requires practice, structure, and discipline. It's not easy, especially in a world filled with distractions, but the rewards are enormous. Those who embrace deep work will find themselves learning faster, producing more meaningful results, and standing out in a noisy world. In conclusion, the first chapter sets the stage for the rest of the book by presenting a simple yet powerful idea. Deep work is both rare and valuable. In an economy that rewards those who can focus, think deeply, and produce exceptional work, cultivating this ability is no longer optional. It's essential. Cal Newport makes it clear that if you want to succeed in the modern world, you must be willing to go deep. Do you ever find yourself endlessly checking your phone, switching between tabs, or getting distracted by every little notification, only to realize at the end of the day that you haven't accomplished anything meaningful? Do you feel your ability to concentrate has weakened in this fast-paced digital world? Have you wondered how some people manage to produce groundbreaking work, write books, build businesses, or master difficult skills, while you struggle to finish even a single task without interruption? If these questions strike a chord, then Deep Work by Cal Newport holds the answers you've been searching for. Welcome to Audiobook World, the place where ideas meet impact. Here, we transform life-changing books into powerful audio journeys that don't just inform you, they inspire and transform you. Our mission is simple: to help you grow through the wisdom of the world's greatest minds. Every book we bring to you is carefully narrated in a way that connects emotionally, explains deeply, and flows like a story you never want to end. Whether you're walking, commuting, or taking a break, Audiobook World becomes your gateway to deep thinking, self-improvement, and powerful learning. Today, we take you inside the mind of Cal Newport and his groundbreaking book, Deep Work: Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World. Newport, a computer science professor and productivity expert, introduces us to a concept that may sound simple but is revolutionary in our time: deep work. It's the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's about working smarter, not just longer. In a world where shallow work, like responding to emails or scrolling through feeds, has become the default mode, Newport argues that deep work is becoming increasingly rare and incredibly valuable. Through stories of successful authors, entrepreneurs, and professionals, And by combining science, psychology, and actionable techniques, Cal Newport shows you how to train your mind, build deep work habits, eliminate distractions, and ultimately produce work that not only stands out but gives you a deep sense of fulfillment. This book isn't about doing more. It's about doing what truly matters, and doing it with such intensity that the results speak louder than words. So get ready. This isn't just another productivity book. Deep work is a wake-up call. It's a roadmap to reclaim your mind, your time, and your potential. And here at Audiobook World, we're excited to take you on that journey.